Arsenal have made an opening offer for Mudryk. This has been a long-term target of Mikel Arteta's men, who currently sit 8 points clear of Manchester City in the Premier League and looking to bolster their squad early in January. We're going to delve into this story in more detail, look at the fallout after Gakpo signs for Liverpool, and big news: Chelsea, Arsenal, and Manchester United could all be fighting out for the signature this January of Joao Felix. But up first, Mudryk to Arsenal is on. Mudryk to Arsenal is advanced, and it is close to becoming a completed deal. Let's go. Arsenal's opening offer for Mihailo Mudryk is short of Shakhtar's expectations. Ben Jacobs has told us that it's more of a marker than a bid they expected to be accepted. High confidence a deal will be done, but all about structure. Arsenal will bid 40 million euros plus 25 million in add-ons. Shakhtar want a slightly higher base fee as it stands. Of course, what's brilliant here from Arsenal is the lack of PR. Most clubs don't announce or share via the media official bids until they're accepted, but it's because Arsenal are in a one-horse race. Not because Mudryk is not a top player, not because he doesn't possess real genuine quality, but because Arsenal Football Club have convinced the player already. Personal terms are agreed. Personal terms are no problem. He wants to be an Arsenal player. The opening bid has gone in. It is in and around the total price that Shakhtar want, as per Ben Jacobs, but they want a slightly higher base fee. There have been weird reports of 80, 85, 90 million pound bids for Mudryk. This isn't true. 65 million in total in terms of euros is what's expected to be the case. And just putting that into a converter right now, if it's uh if it's going to be 65 million euros, that's around 57 million pounds on current exchange rate in total, with around 40 million being the base fee. The guaranteed amount to Shakhtar will be about 35 million pounds. And this is a phenomenal piece of business. This is a highly talented young man that you, the fans, may not have heard too much about. And you'll see rivals of Arsenal do this. You don't know much about him. But are fans meant to know everything about the players that our managers want to sign? Is that now where we are? If the fan base haven't heard of a of a Ukrainian player who plays for Shakhtar Donetsk, if we haven't deeply researched him and scouted him 20, 30 times, we can't be excited about the prospects of our clubs buying these players. Our club's job is to have good scouting systems. Our club's job is for the manager and the board to have an identity of player they want and go and get them. And when you trust your club, you can get excited about players that you may not necessarily like and or know. This is phenomenal business from Arsenal, and what they're looking to do is get this done early. They're looking to get it done and dusted and over that line. 90 minutes of today said they understand that Arsenal are leading the charge to sign Mudryk, who is valued publicly at 90 million, but a number by a number of officials at Shakhtar. But a bid of 55 million has been swiftly shot down. Sources believe that Shakhtar would prefer to do business at closer to 80 million. But you look at what Ben Jacobs said here, it's all about the structure. They want a slightly higher base. I still think that 65 million euro, that 55 to 57 million pounds will be enough. Maybe Arsenal needs to increase their initial base offer to 40, 45 million pounds and have less on less on add-ons. And then it's about the structure. How much is paid up front? What the installments look like? How long until Shakhtar get their money? Because of course, if what's going on in the Ukraine, it will have a financial impact upon the football club, and they'll be looking to make a business decision around this. But Mudryk to Arsenal, as I've said, is on green ticked. It is advancing. Personal terms are agreed, and the deal is getting closer and closer towards completion. And then the player holding up that shirt and being ready for being picked for Arsenal in early January. The speed of which Arsenal are operating at here is brilliant. Now, we saw yesterday Liverpool complete the signing. I know not officially, the medical hasn't gone through yet, but it's all done for Gakpo. A hijack at the last moment. Man United, of course, putting out the spin and the PR today of no money, didn't really make an official bid. The whole no official bid went in after previous unofficial bids were turned down. Man United fans lapping it up to protect the Glazers. Never really going to understand that. They think they're protecting the club, and I get the loyalty, but you're not protecting the club. You're protecting poor ownership and poor running. Please stop doing it. What's next for Man United? Well, there is big news surrounding Joao Felix. Joao Felix is such an interesting one because Fabrizio Romano reports that Jorge Mendes has been in talks with Arsenal and Manchester United for Joao Felix. There will be talks this week. So this was printed this morning in order to find a solution for the Portuguese international. This is coupled with reports from Mike McGrath that Chelsea are looking at a deal with Atletico Madrid for Joao Felix on an initial loan to bolster Graham Potter's attack for the second half of the season. And Ben Jacobs has also confirmed that Arsenal have been offered the opportunity to sign Joao Felix on loan from Atletico, but are prioritizing the signing of Mudryk. And the reason that I think all of these stories are key is what's going to happen here. Manchester United, of course, have missed out on Gakpo. And my personal belief, you were going to see reports that say wasn't a major priority. I'm already seeing top bread say actually they want a number 9. It's going to be more of a Ramos, maybe a Joao Felix. Gakpo was a smoke screen. The typical normal, I can't take an L responses. Arsenal may now pull away from Joao Felix if they bring in Mudryk because other priorities are midfielders. And I am told there could be a bid this month for Yuri Tillemans, although Leicester are more than happy at the moment to let him stay until the end of the season and go on a free because they may not be able to replace him. And obviously, they've had a bit of a treacherous start to the season. Arsenal are also looking at a left-sided centre-back. So is Joao Felix the answer? If they're not prepared to pay the asking price for Joao Felix in the summer, it also may be seen as not a bad loan if he helps you win a Premier League or helps you win some trophies. But you don't want to be the team that gets Joao Felix backfiring and then you have no ability to be able or want to sign him in the summer for the £100 million that could be set. Chelsea and Manchester United and Arsenal, though, this week will be holding more talks with Jorge Mendes about a potential deal. Atletico Madrid are very happy for him to go with no obligation to buy. But what you might find the Chelseas and the Man Uniteds and Arsenals do is look at an option to buy. And the option to buy will be very sensible. First refusal on buying the player for a set fee created now if Joao Felix is successful. Because the last thing you want to do if you're Chelsea or Man United is bring the player in, make him look brilliant, get him back to his best, and then Real Madrid come in and go, well, we'll pay £140 million for him now, and you have no control over it. You need to gain control of the situation. So it's a very, very interesting situation. Simon Maddox from the Mirror has printed that Cody Gakpo joining Liverpool means that Man United are working on their plan B. Eric Ten Hag is said to be a fan of Ramos, whilst the second half of a half a season loan for Joao Felix has been discussed. And I think for me, what's really interesting is you kind of look at this and think to yourself, they've raised this situation, it's been broached, they're talking about it. Will it go through? I don't know. There's a lot of excitement in the Chelsea fan base yesterday. Oh, we're getting Joao Felix. Again, Chelsea could pull this deal off. I'm not suggesting for a single second they will not. But as it stands right now, the bookmakers will have their favourites. But no one, barring Arsenal, it's been spoken about before by Ben Jacobs, Arsenal are more advanced with Joao Felix than Man United and Chelsea are. But we saw with what Liverpool did yesterday, that can change. If Mudryk goes through, maybe Arteta says, listen, Edu, let's focus on other areas of the pitch. Let's focus on midfield. Maybe let's focus at the back. And they take their attention elsewhere. Chelsea, of course, they really need to bolster their attack the same as Manchester United do. So there could be a massive scramble. But it does feel like Joao Felix could be on his way to the Premier League this January. So some very interesting stories around that. It's only the Premier League clubs that are really looking at him. Liverpool, of course, very unlikely to be involved because of the signing of Gakpo. Man City have got an abundance of talent in those areas, and Mudryk is already in. United and Chelsea have hammered this out together. Where do you see him going? Where do you see Joao Felix ending up by the end of January? or maybe even in early January, because there is talk again that both clubs and Ati want to get this deal done in the opening week of January. Some big deals could happen in that time period. As a roundup to what we've spoken about today, Arsenal Football Club have officially made their first bid for Mihailo Mudryk. It's slightly short of the expectations, but a higher base and better structuring, totaling around 65 million euros, is said to be doable and a price that will make Mudryk gettable for Arsenal Football Club. We know that Joao Felix is on the radar of Arsenal. We know that Manchester United and Arsenal have already held talks and will hold further talks, according to Fabrizio Romano, next week. And Chelsea have also entered that race. Make sure like buttons are being hit. Make sure you're subscribing to the Football Terrace. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again soon. Thank you.